What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I hope you guys had a great Christmas. You know I did. I definitely am super grateful for this time of year, especially throughout this year. It just kind of brought back, normalcy for me at least. So I hope it brought back, good times for you guys, and just ended the year on a high note. So, on that note, today we are going to be doing a couple things to the WRX. We are going to be installing some ultra racing bracing along with changing the rear diff fluid. I am chasing this weird sound in the rear, I've been recommended by a couple people to change the diff fluid. Maybe this sound is coming from the diff, who knows, but at this point I'm desperate and I will do anything that I can. So I'm going to change the rear diff fluid with some Subaru high performance 75W90 diff fluid, because we have the R180 in the rear on the WRX. So I'm going to do that, and then we have some bracing from Ultra Racing going on the front subframe bracing, and we have some frame bracing going down the side. That should pop on pretty easy, and hopefully stiffen up the chassis a little bit, and we'll go for a test drive and see the differences that the bracing really do, and if they're worth the money and if they're not worth the money. So let me get to jacking the car up, and then we'll get to getting the rear diff cover the rear diff drained and getting some new fluid in it. So I have the car jacked up on 4 jack stands. I know I've gotten a lot of crap recently for not using jack stands. I promise you I do. Sometimes you guys just can't see them, but always stay safe and always use jack stands. But on that note, I have a, I don't even know what this is called, like a drippings tray for like meat or something like that. This is what I tend to use for like smaller jobs, like diff fluid, training fluid, and stuff like that. Something that doesn't take a ton of fluid and that I can throw away after. I hate having to use my big like oil bin container, just because it takes it up and I feel like I'm wasting it, like the space of that. So I tend to only use that for oil, and then I feel bad because when you take it to like O'Reilly's and stuff like that, I don't believe that they like to mix diff fluid and also our gear oil or anything like that with actual oil in itself. So I try to keep just the oil in one bin, and these work great. You basically can just drain these in, have these the oil drain into here, and then you can just dump it right back into the container that you used for the new oil. So I'm gonna get this done. To remove the R180 drain bolt, it is going to be a 1/2-inch socket or wrench or ratchet, whatever. Basically, you're not going to put anything on it. It just plugs it in to the drain bolt, and you basically just untighten it. It's the bottom one, if you guys don't know, for that. So I'm going to get this drained, and then we can get some of the new fluid in. Alright, so this is going to be draining for a little bit. And so for reference, this is going to be your guys' drain bolt, and this is going to be your fill one. So we're gonna, once this is done draining, knock this one off, and then I'm gonna add the fluid. It's 2.1 quarts is what they recommend, so we're gonna put 2.1 quarts in, then go ahead and tighten everything back up, and that's it. That's all you really need to do to basically drain and put new fluid into your R180 diff. It's a very simple process, and I think a lot more people don't do this enough. I feel like they neglect the diff fluid, which it should be changed roughly like every, I want to say like 25,000 miles in it, if you want to like have a well-functioning diff and keep the clutches and everything good, is what I always recommend with a lot of people. So let me go ahead and finish this up, and then we'll get to the bracing, which is going to be in the frame and also the front sub bracing. It's not that big of a deal. So I went ahead and finished up the diff fluid change. It takes about 1 quart of fluid. Just fill it up on the top hole until it starts leaking out. That's how you know you're full. So moving on towards the bracing, this is Ultra Racing subframe bracing and some frame rail bracing. I'm gonna give you my honest opinion on them. A lot of people are hesitant on if they should add it or not. I definitely think that there are some pros and some cons to it, and some people have some confusion on whether or not that it is justifiable, and also if it works or not. So we'll break it down, we'll install it, then we'll give you my honest opinion. But from the looks of it, I definitely think that it is, this is the subframe one. It is definitely well built, it is nice quality. I honestly think that it's gonna work out perfect. And a lot of people are hesitant because they're saying, oh, it adds weight. I mean, honestly, it's 5 pounds. It's not that big of a deal. 5 pounds is 5 pounds. You know, you can lose 5 pounds if you're a little on the heavier side like me, but yeah, I mean, 5 pounds is 5 pounds, guys. I mean, it's not that big of a deal. And anytime you're meeting, like joining one point of the chassis to another point from like driver's side to passenger side, I always think that it adds some rigidity to the chassis. So I definitely think that this might help, in my opinion. So, but we'll see. All right, guys. So I went ahead and just bolted down the frame rail ones. One of the points bolts down to the front transmission cross brace, and the last one goes to the actual subframe place. So I believe those are 2 good spots to, you know, kind of connect, definitely. And then there's one that's in the middle that just bolts to like a hole in the floorboard that looks like, or there is threads to it. So I don't know if the factory just added threads to it for something if you wanted to bolt something in the future, but those are M8 by 1.25 for your guys' reference. So if you guys want to, and the Ultra Racing doesn't include hardware, so you guys are going to want to go to Ace Hardware or somewhere, Home Depot, whatever, get you guys self some hardware. M8 by 1.25 is the hardware that you guys are going to need, and that's the 3rd spot that it bolts to. Let me show you guys what I'm talking about. So those are basically what we have just installed. Pretty nice. Definitely seems a little bit more rigid down there. I definitely like the quality. The fitment was really good. It lined right up to the bolts. So I give it an A on that. So let's go for a test drive and see kind of what this is all about. So first impressions are definitely, it feels more like when you put on like a strut brace or like the rear toe brace on these cars. Just definitely gives it that like more tighter chassis feeling. And the other thing is like coming out of my driveway, I usually have like a bunch of creaks going out, like the chassis wants to creak and stuff, and I didn't get that this time. So definitely made it a little like stiffer, that's for sure. So but as far as like driving, it's pretty good. I can definitely tell the difference. It definitely steps down the chassis. I'm not gonna lie about that. And for the price, I mean, $500 for the 2 that I spent, or the 2 that I had bought, so the front subframe and then the frame rail ones. Shoot, I mean, it definitely made a noticeable difference enough to where like you could feel it. So let's get it. Definitely stiffened up the chat. I mean, this thing feels like it's on rails now. So I'm impressed. I dig them. So A+ on the Ultra Racing frame rails. Alright guys, that's going to wrap it up for today's video. I am thoroughly impressed on how much this actually made a difference. I definitely had very low hopes. I was reading all the hate online. Definitely think that this definitely made a big difference. For 500 bucks, you can't beat it. And you know, I do get what they were saying, that you can't just find bolt holes and, you know, ties bolt holes together, basically, is what I was reading. I think that applies to an extent, but at the same time, I think that they've chosen the right bolt holes and they've chosen the right points to tie the chassis together to limit the flex. I mean, it doesn't lie, my chassis creaked going out my driveway. I mean, you can see it right there. It would always creak because I have to take it at an angle. Doesn't creak anymore, so it's doing something right. So that's gonna wrap it up today, hey guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I am filming this in 2021, so I wanted to wish you guys a happy New Year's, but I have big goals for 2021, and I definitely think that this is gonna be a great year for the channel. We have a lot of stuff planned, and I am sticking to my filming schedule. I'm gonna try to get 2 to 3 a week, and yeah, so thank you guys for watching, and if you guys haven't, make sure you guys subscribe to my channel. I would really appreciate it. Just things are only going to get better from here. So I will catch you guys in the next video. Peace out.